Here are 5 things you can copy from the incredible Holger Rune backhand to help improve your backhand. Now, this video is courtesy of 12K GP Tennis on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to their awesome channel. I've put their link in the description below. So first, let's watch these 3 backhands, and then we'll analyze it. So good. His backhand's truly right out of a textbook. All right, first thing is the grip, how he's holding the racket. If you are holding the racket in an inefficient way, you're really going to have a tough time copying his backhand. So Holger's right hand, he places the base knuckle of his index finger and his heel pad right on panel number 2. That is a continental grip. When you place the knuckle and heel pad on that second panel, you've got your bottom hand as a right-hander correct. Now his left hand, which is his top hand, he has his knuckle and heel pad halfway between panels 6 and 7. So if this were a forehand, right, if he was actually hitting a forehand, this would be called, or really it's kind of like the Agassi grip. It's halfway between an Eastern forehand and a semi-Western forehand. So he places the base knuckle of his right hand and heel pad right on panel number 2, and his left hand is in between 6 and 7. Next, his feet. The stance he's using on these backhands is a very classic neutral / closed stance. Look at this one in particular. Thies hits the ball right at his body, right? And he actually is going to move to his right to hit a backhand. And look how he steps backward with his left foot to be able to actually line himself up with the ball. And then he transfers the weight from the back foot to the front foot and then rotates. Really awesome stuff. The pros will do anything and everything to get the stance that they're actually looking for. I know a lot of players, they ask me direct message on Instagram and send me emails. And they'll say, Ryan, shouldn't I be using open stance? Isn't that like the advanced way to hit a tennis ball? Here's a slightly closed stance. It's not. It's not like open stance is more advanced than closed. It certainly is not. Typically, when you're getting medium height and low balls, those are going to be neutral and closed stance. If you're dealing with a really high ball, then an open stance can be helpful. Or if the ball is really pulling you off the court and you've got to sprint off to the side, that's a great time to use an open stance, also called a mogul stance. But just for a general rally and the ball's coming right at you, definitely going to use a closed stance most often, or a neutral stance. Number 3, a continuous swing. So watch the moment Holger sees this ball, he starts rotating the body, right? He changed his grip. He starts rotating the body, and you'll notice the circular nature to the swing, how the racket doesn't have to stop in order to get to the ball. The beauty of this is you can handle pace. You should film yourself hitting backhands. If you have a swing, for instance, that goes like this to get to the ball, well, you can see the issue right here. The yellow has to stop, and that slows you down, and it can make you late when a ball comes in really fast to you. So try keeping the tip of the racket up when you take the racket back. Circle around, get the racket to 180 behind you, which is right there, and then you begin dropping the racket, and then circle around through contact. When you have a circular swing, it means you can handle any pace and depth from the opponent. If you have a swing that goes straight down and then pauses and then gets to the ball, eventually your opponent's going to hit the ball deep enough and fast enough that this pause right here is going to get you late. So work on keeping the tip of the racket up. This is also known as 2 heads are better than 1. Your head and the racket head the same height, or 2-headed monster. And then the circle around to the ball. This is how you get effortless power because the speed can just build on itself. It also allows you to handle pace from your opponent quite easily. Now, number 4, closed racket face. We just discussed the circular nature, but we have to talk about where the strings are pointing during that circular swing. When he takes the racket back, his racket is on edge, this moment where it's 2 heads are better than 1, right? He could balance a coin right on the top of the racket. But as the racket falls and he begins to uncoil, because of the grip and because of the uncoiling, he has a little bit of a bow in the right wrist and a layback in the left wrist, and that allows him to close the racket face. Closing the racket face is absolutely essential for recreational players to hit consistent backhands with topspin. It's just the case. It's just the truth. So if you are not closing the racket face prior to hitting the ball, and you'll notice this is below contact, it's going to be very difficult for you to be able to swing low to high. And I know Medvedev doesn't close his racket face a lot. Agassi didn't close the racket face a lot. If you want to try to hit backhands like that and hit topspin consistently, by all means, go ahead. But you're not going to hear it from me, because you have to be a otherworldly athlete to be able to time that racket face squaring itself up to contact. It's just so much easier to close the racket face like Holger here, and then when you swing low to high, it spins up the back of the ball. If you look at your backhand, like on video, and your racket is straight up and down at this point, when you get to the ball, your racket face is going to be facing up, right? Open over the back fence. And that's usually when you see people swing across and have to pull to their right if they're right-handed to try to keep the ball in, then they get side spin. So make sure your racket face is closed prior to hitting the ball, and then swing up and out as you hit, and that's going to give you the top spin you want. And then the last thing, the high finish. Look how his hands are higher than head level. Look at the space under his right armpit. You could fit a beach ball under his right armpit. This is just like Djokovic. When you are hitting a two-hander, lift from the shoulders. Most recreational players I see who struggle with their backhand, two-hander, they bend their elbows like they're doing bicep curls. Don't bend your elbows, but rather lift from the shoulders. You can see there's no wrist movement. He's got the racket slightly to the left of his hands. Like the racket never goes over here. I made videos of Stevie Johnson years ago, and his racket, when he's done, is over here. That's not what you want. As a right-hander, either have the racket straight up or have the racket slightly to the left of your hands. And that just means you have very little wrist. But the only way to do that is to actually close the racket face. By the way, Stevie Johnson does not close the racket face. That's why he swings across, gets side spin, and it's why for his career he hated his backhand. But look at the extension up and out and this high finish. See this triangle here? Film yourself. See if you can look for a triangle where you can actually see through your arms and above your shoulder. It's just an indicator of having a really high hand and an extension out through the contact. Now, the best way to practice these techniques at home is with a Topspin Pro. You can get a Topspin Pro using my link. It's in the description. I'm also going to pin it in the first comment. I absolutely love the Topspin Pro, and I know you will too. And if you're looking for people in your local area to play matches against to practice with, or if you want to find a coach who's close to you who can help you with your game, then use my link for PlayYourCourt. And it's playyourcourt.com/2-minute-tennis. When you use my link to sign up, you get 50% off. So click right here to check out the Topspin Pro and go ahead and film yourself hitting backhands. Work on these 5 ideas in your own game, and if you do, there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.